Oh, you gotta film them first, remember?
Oh, okay.
Remember, you gotta
Don't
zoom.
lock your legs.
Gone with the Wind and Slavery. Gone with the Wind was released in 1939, and the directors were Victor Fleming, George Cukon, and Sam Wood. The story takes place in the Old South and begins at the start of the Civil War. The film depicts that the Yankees are the clear villains and shows Atlanta being burned by Sherman and his men. Scarlett O'Hara is the main character in the film, and she has to learn and find out what it means to rebuild Tara, which is her plantation and her family land that she loves so dearly, and while the South is learning to rebuild after the war. The film takes the white Confederate point of view on slavery in the Old South by sugarcoating it and not depicting what slavery actually looked like during these times. The film portrays happy slaves that had close relationships with their masters and gives the viewers the impressions that slavery was a fairly genial arrangement. During the actual release of the film in 1939, African Americans were not even allowed to go inside movie theaters. And the actress Hattie McDaniel that plays the role of Mammy in the film, she was not even permitted to attend her own opening premiere of the film during this time. The film also hit home with a lot of African Americans due to, at the time it was released, the Great Depression was also ending, and although Southern slavery had ended, the Depression made a lot of things worse for black workers. They were normally the first to lose their jobs. They were often denied public works, and a lot of black needy families were even refused food by some charities in the South. Black Americans suffered more than any other group during and after the Great Depression. The first clip that I chose to view is related to the relationships that slaves portray to have with their masters in the film, and how this is unrealistic to the actual slave times. Here.
Lords of Miss Garland, that's Mr. Gerald's watch.
You take it, it's for you. Pord wants you to have it.
You ain't got no business parting from this watch now, Miss Garland. You needs all your valuables to sell for that tax money.
You think I'd sell Pa's watch? And don't cry. Stand everybody's tears but yours.
She sure is.
Did you ever see a prettier one?
Well, sir, Miss Scarlett was might not that pretty when she come, but not quite.
Have another glass. Mammy, what's that rustling noise I hear?
Laws, Mr. Red, that ain't nothing but my red silk petticoat you done give me.
Nothing but your petticoat. I don't believe it. Let me see. Pull up your skirt.
Mr. Red, you is bad. Yo, Lord.
You sure took a long enough time about wearing it.
Yes, sir. Too long.
No more mule and horse's harness?
Mr. Red, Miss Scarlett was bad telling you about that. You ain't holding that against old Mammy, is you?
No, I ain't holding it against you. I just wanted to know. Have another glass, man. Here, take the whole bottle.
Dr. Mead says you make
Here in the first clip, we see Pork, who is one of the male servant slaves to the O'Hara family, is given a gold watch by Miss Scarlett, who she gave it to him after her father passed. And Mammy, which is one of the female servant slaves in the O'Hara family, receives a red petticoat from Mr. Red and is found drinking with him in the parlor. Both of these things portray an unrealistic picture of the way slaves were treated before emancipation. This would have never been the case between master and slave. Slaves did not get any presents from their masters, much less gold and petticoats, or drink with them. While some white owners treated their slaves well, the rampant abuse of slaves in the South is well documented. In the second clip I chose, we see Prissy, who is another female servant slave to the O'Hara family, being depicted as a stupid slave girl that doesn't know anything. And Miss Scarlett backhands her because she doesn't know how to help with the birth of Miss Melanie's baby.
Is the doctor come?
No, he can't come.
Oh, Miss Scarlett, Miss Mellie bad off.
He can't come. There's nobody to come. Prissy, you've got to manage without the doctor. I'll help you.
Oh, Lossie, Miss Scarlett.
What is it?
Lossie, we've got to have a doctor. I don't know nothing about birthing babies.
What do you mean?
I don't know.
You told me you knew everything about it.
I don't know how come I tell such a lie. Ma never let me around when folks was having them. Scarlett. Scarlett.
Stop it! Go light a fire on the stove. Keep boiling water in the kettle. Give me the ball of twine and all the clean towels you can find and the scissors. Don't come telling me you can't find them. Go get them and get them quick.
Often in the film, the slave characters were depicted as stupid and ignorant. The narrator in the film describes blacks as trashy, insolent, and creatures of small intelligence. So as we see, by current standards, the film is shockingly racist. But by the standards of its time, the film's portrait of race relations is typical. This is true to some extent about the racist part today. But as for typical race relations that were portrayed in the film, it's not accurate because slavery was a brutal institution and the film does not show an imbalance or even question it. This heated the flame for African Americans in this era due to the nature of how they were being portrayed in the film. Gone with the Wind not only sugarcoats slavery, but portrays it from the viewpoint of the white Confederacy only. Thank you.